Hello, everyone. Welcome to the whatever my name is, child. Welcome to the AC Brown Show. I am here. I'm not going to be long. So if you want to stay, stay. This is just like a quick chit chat. I am hitting a wall, and it's a tough wall that I'm hitting, but here I am. Yeah, I'll probably be here for like 10-15 minutes. So you can ask me any questions you want. I'm fulfilling my commitment and I'm hitting a wall. After today, I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So 4 days. I will be on tomorrow at 11 and I will have something to talk about, as well as Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to go out with a bang. But today, ah. Anywho, so please ask me some questions. If you have anything you're curious about or just in general, just ask away. We're almost there. Yes, thank you so much for your support. I am almost there. Almost. But yeah, ask me any questions. I mean, listen, I'll just talk while you guys ask questions and I'll wait. I have my Olipop. Delicious, nutritious. I've learned so much over these few days. Well, not few days, the whole month of September. I've learned a lot. But what I do know is, would I ever do this again? No. Could I do like a week? Yes. A week of lives, yes. After Tuesday, you guys won't see me again until October 16th live, like doing like streaming. I'm gonna do every Thursday from there, like on the 16th. I can commit to that, but I need a break. This has been a lot, but yeah, I'm just trying to like fulfill my commitment, and yeah. Okay, we have a question. Okay, where do I recommend newbies start with human design besides looking at their chart? Well, my friend Rachel Lieberman has a phenomenal book. Her book came out. When did Rachel's book come out? I think it came out in 20. I'm gonna put it. I don't know when did it come out? It came out. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna give you the title. Rachel's book came out. What's Rachel's book? It's called A Modern Take on Human Design. That's what her book is called, but it came out in 2024, I believe. No, 2023. I'm sorry. 2023. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's called A Modern Guide to Human Design. I suggest people start there if you want to learn more. I also have a book just strictly on human design that I co-wrote with someone, but it's about the origins of human design and looking at it from a BIPOC lens. So if you want to see it from there, then that book is called Your Soul Map as well. And I'll put that there too. But it is more about that one is more about human design and the like experience that came out in 2023 as well. I'll put that in there too. So both of that. So that's there. Let me go to the questions. Back to the questions. So that was the first question. Second question. First up, thank you for showing up. I've been catching when I could. Oh, thank you so much. What led you to the work you do? I've been doing this work for a very long time. And as far as like the advice giving and being a know-it-all, as I like to say, I'm clear cognizant. Since I was a kid, it's always showed up like that. But psychic medium, of course, since I was a kid. But what called me to the work, I tried to run from it and it just kept on following me. So that's what called me to it. And it was just like, all right, this is what you're supposed to do. So just do it. And that's what I did. I just leaned right into it. Just leaned right into it. And then it worked out. It worked out. So it worked out. Um yeah. But I mean, my book has more of the depth of the story for sure. I'm curious about the eighth house and talking people's money that you always mention. Have your money mapping course, but it doesn't mention the eighth house. I have eighth house in Capricorn. It doesn't mention the eighth house. Well, you're looking at your um because the money map is not necessarily let me bring up the workbook. In the money magnetism guide, yeah, we're talking about the second house, Jupiter, and your second house ruler. So the eighth house is your outer economy. So the second house is your inner economy. So that's why I focus on the money magnetism map about your inner economy, because that is what you can control. You can't control your eighth house. That's just like an sort of like an energy and an aura. So in the money magnetism map, and if you want to get that course, it's $9. And what it talks about is Jupiter, your second house, and the ruler of wherever the ruler of your second house is. So that is why I don't mention the eighth house, because the eighth house is how people would pay you, but it's not necessarily what you can control. You can control your inner economy, like the baseline of that. I hope that makes sense, Ro. But eighth house and Cap, you just going to be a process. You got to take your time and build something with an eighth house in Capricorn. I heard there's something called midlife transits. Yes, there are midlife transits. Lots of midlife transits. You have two Saturn returns. Um, what's well, let me see her book. What's her book's name? Uh, hold on. What's her book's? She talks about it in her book. Hold on. It is so your Uranus opposition is your midlife crisis, and your Neptune, Uranus opposition, Neptune square. Those are midlife crises, but Uranus opposition is your midlife crisis, like 42. And sometimes you have a Neptune square there, Pluto square. But whatchamacallit has a book, Naranya Montefiore. She has a book talking all about that. Narayana Montefiore. It's on one of my bookshelves. I can't remember it. Astrology. Let me look it up. It's on one of my bookshelves. But she has a book about it. Hold on. I'll tell you the name of the book. Where is it? Hold on. What is the name of the book? Hold on. Damn, I don't. And I don't know what bookshelf it's on. It's called Astrology is no, it's not Astrology in Your Stars. Is it? I'll have to. There it is. Narayana Montefiore. It's called Written in Your Stars. Ooh, child, that's the name of the book. It's using your Saturn return, your Pluto square, and other cycles. So she talks about in this book. So I will put it in the chat as well. She talks about in this book um, all of those transits, your uh, midlife crisis, Saturn return, your second Saturn return, all of that stuff. So she talks about that in there. Uh, let's see. Yeah, so I answered that one. I definitely want to learn human design from a BIPOC person. Well, thank you. I'm regular Black. How did I get into human design? I used to have a photography business and I was interning in Baltimore actually when I lived in the DC area for a commercial photographer. And the makeup artist there, the resident makeup artist, she was a big yogi. She was like really good friends. I don't know if you know Brad's kale chips, but she was really good friends with Brad, and she sprang me kale chips. And she was talking one day about, oh yeah, I'm a manifester in human design. So she was explaining, I was like, I don't know about this. And I was like, I must be a manifester too, because, law of attraction, all that other stuff. And I found out I was a projector and I started crying. and I was like, what do you mean? This doesn't make any sense. And that's how I got into human design. That was, oh my God, over 15 years ago. And I just started studying it and looking at it. And I was able to like use my psychic stuff, my medium stuff, and use it. And I was just like, what the hell? Why am I a projector? And then it all made sense. And then, yeah. But I had already, prior to that, I already got my like life coaching certification, master's degree, like all of that stuff, and uh, other things. So it was just like part of the path. I still can't get the empath conversation. Well, that's good. Can you share about Lilith and Virgo in the sixth house? I always thought mine was in Leo, but I realized it's in Virgo at 0 degrees. Lilith at 0 degrees is you have a lot of fresh Lilith energy. The sixth house, anything in the sixth house has to do with your routine, the way you serve, your health, um, how you take care of your body, what you eat, your routines, your rituals. So with Lilith, Lilith is a very powerful being and she doesn't want to be tamed. She doesn't want to be held down. So she wants to reach, I guess in Virgo would be have the ultimate structure. So if there's anything that you want to improve about your body and about the way you do things, start small and like continue to do that. I think I was looking at Placidus again. Placidus is not bad if you have had your Saturn return, haven't had your Saturn return. I'm amazed you remember all these things. Child, I'm amazed. But it's so funny because speaking of that, and you'll see the series as I like unravel it on my YouTube channel, is that I realize that I am not retaining information the way I used to, and that bothers me. So I'm getting back into like what I call study mode, and I am just going on a quest to read more, to learn more, and study just in general, just regular stuff, whether it's esoteric stuff or just in general stuff. I have been doing book reports since I was 5 years old. Now you might say, why would a 5-year-old be doing a book report? My father is a Sagittarius and he's a heavy reader. My dad reads a lot to the point he probably goes through maybe 2 to 3 books a week, whether it's mostly fiction. But he's a type of person that stays up all night reading. But anyway, when I was a kid, he would buy me these little books. They were like little square books, maybe 10 pages. And I would have to do a book report every week. No lie. I wish I was making this up. I would have to read these pages of books, no more than 10 pages maybe. And it would be about stuff like red balls or whatever 5-year-olds, I don't remember the time. I would have to write a book report, like a page, and like talk about and write so I can like practice my handwriting on what the book was about, what I learned, what I liked. It was torture. It was torture. But I had to do that. I mean, hence why I like books, but I'm going back to reading a lot. I canceled like a lot of my streaming services. Um, I'm getting back into my word, as my grandmother would say. And my grandmother would say, get back into your word, not in a biblical sense, but in a learning sense. So I'm getting back into my word. So that's how I remember stuff. Because I read, and I used to read a lot. Yeah, wow, it's been a crazy journey recently. My daily habits. Yeah, you have to get your daily habits. Yeah, no, don't say book reports. I love that. That was torture. I used to cry doing those things. Do I have a favorite topic? If anything, I mean, listen, I've been avoiding it for a long time. The work that I'm really called to do is relationships with other people, whether it's romantic, platonic, um, professional, and the relationship with yourself. So I like talking about you and yourself. So your relationship with yourself. I like talking about people, the relationships with other people. I used to do when I was first giving readings, and I mean 10 years ago. I used to do a lot of love readings, but it got very frustrating because people don't listen. So I realized, like, oh, you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So it's kind of like in every, never fail, never fails, like clockwork. Girl, you was right. I should have did it. Girl, you was right. You know what? I just but people are not in the place always to hear stuff. So it's better like working on the relationship with yourself. Or I do like working with couples who are I have done like couple readings, um, who are like both people are like in a healthy place to hear stuff. But yeah, as a middle school student, this is a skill that no longer reading matters. Reading and comprehension matters. That's why I'm getting back into my word. I went and got markers, my little tabs, post-it notes so I can start annotating and like doing the thing because I feel like my mind is slipping from all of the scrolling. So I'm like, I gotta get back in there. I gotta read and just keep on reading. My dad inspires me to do that. Like he reads, like I said, a lot. He reads a lot of books, like a lot. Like when you said, when you run, keeps finding. Yeah, it keeps finding you. As a Libra sun, I'm all about relationships. Yes, they don't listen. They don't. But that's not. Listen, I'm not here to be like judgmental or anything. People just don't listen. Um, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, book reports. That's literally what I'm going to be doing is book reports. So I'm just like I'm taking it back to the basics. I'm going to be doing book reports, and I'm going to be talking about the books that I read on YouTube from a book report standpoint. That's going to be the name of the series. Actually, I just wrote it. It's going to be called The Book Report by AC Brown. It's going to be on my channel. So I'm going to start I probably won't release them until probably like December, but that's what I'm going to be doing is book reports. I was like, I'm used to doing book reports. Like yeah, it was bad. And people like, oh my God, that's such a good skill. It was torture at 5. I don't want to write book reports, but that's what I do. So yeah, I'm getting back to writing book reports. Because I was one of those, please, when I was in college, I could write a paper, 15, 20 pages, 2 hours, citations, all of it, everything. But I don't have that in me anymore. So I'm like, okay, I need to get that back in me. So I'm gonna start reading. Yeah, I gotta get back into the word. Gotta get back into all these words because my mind. It feels like yeah, it's not good. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Speaking on relationships with self, what advice would you have someone who's on a self love journey? Um, I mean, self love journeys are. I d- mm, I have a issue with self love journeys because you love yourself. I don't think people have self love issues. I think we have boundary issues and we have desire issues, meaning that you don't put the proper boundaries in place with other people and you don't express or you're not honest about what you desire for yourself. And that's where the self love is lacking, is because you're not honest. So it's not, you don't love yourself. I think everybody loves their self to some point, but there's this point of having a desire, not being real about that desire, and then not doing what you know you need to do for that desire. So then that causes friction to where you get depressed and you start wallowing and you start living in the past because you're not being honest about what you actually want and desire. And so that's where the friction is, because the choice is there. You know what you want, but claiming what you want knows that you're going to have to leave a part of you or old version of you behind, and that's where the lack of self-love is. So it's a desire issue, really. It's a desire issue. So yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Well, if nobody has any questions, I don't see any questions coming. Well, if nobody has any questions, I will see you all tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I'll have something more in depth to talk about. I don't know yet. No, I'm going to try and at least Sunday, Monday, Tuesday go out with a bang and really tomorrow, hopefully I can do a whole hour, 45 minutes at least. Yeah. All right. Well, is the embodiment still open for applications? It's not, but if you're going to apply, wink, wink, I will unclick the thing so you can go do that. So I will do that now. Wait. I will do that now. So for anybody watching this, you have until tomorrow morning to apply, because I'm not going to go back into the thing. And if you want to apply to the embodiment map, it is a 9-week journey through 8 stages of embodiment. It's the beta. So next year, I'm going to re-release this in a live version, and there'll be a facilitator version if you want to, at that time, actually take the embodiment map and use it in your practice, part of retreats or something like that. But this is just the beta for you to be a part of what the actual embodiment map is, not for you to host or anything like that. If you want to get the opportunity to do that, you can do that next year. But this is just the actual go through the process, because I need feedback, I need testimonies for the process, and I'm tweaking it. I've been working on this for a lot of years, so I need to tweak it. So if you want to apply, if you're on my mailing list, is the application's open. We got until tomorrow morning. Okay? Anywho, I am gonna go. Um, yeah, I will see you all tomorrow at 11. See, that's why I need to read. This is why I need to read. Can't. It's not sharp. I'm not. I feel it's, so yeah. Anywho, all right. Well, you all have a good evening. I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye.